Okay, Algebra 8, we are starting Chapter 2. Today we are going to talk about rational numbers. So in our first section, we are working basically with fractions and decimals. This is a review from your Math 7 Course 2. The first 4, we are simplifying fractions. And what I recommend doing when you have to simplify a fraction is checking to see if the top and the bottom can be divided by the same number. So for example, when I look at A, I try to think of what numbers can go into 9. So for example, 3 and 9 can go into 9. I kind of did a quick check. I know that 55 cannot be divided by 3 because 3 goes in there one time. Got to do some old school division, but it does not fit into 25 nicely. So this is actually simplified as far as it can go. Letter B, though, if you can't think of what goes in to 24 and 32, but you know that they're both even, you can start by dividing by 2. 24 divided by 2 is 12. 32 divided by 2 is 16. This is going to be negative the whole time. It doesn't ever change. Now, I know that 12 and 16, now I can see, 4 can go into both of them. You could have kept on going by 2s, but if I can recognize a bigger number can go in there, I'm going to do that first. So 4 goes into 12 3 times, and 4 goes into 16 4 times. So that was my answer, negative 3/4. Letter C, I can look at that, and I'm like, I know 8 goes into both of them. And you guys might have started with a 2, and that's okay, but if you can find a bigger number, like 8 goes into 16 twice, and I know that 8 goes into 80 10 times. And then 2 and 10 can both be divided by a 2. The faster you can simplify it, the less dividing you actually have to do. Then 18 and 29, you might want to think of what numbers can go into 18. Again, 2, but 2 can't go into 29. 3, 6, and 9. None of those numbers actually go into 29. So again, this is your simplified version. Okay, now we're going to move on to writing decimals as fractions. And last year you might remember that I did this little chart here. A little reminder. This is the tenths. This is the hundredths. This is the thousandths. And this would be the 10,000ths. And then this would be the 100,000ths. Okay? And so when you are taking a decimal and you're going to put it into a fraction, this is in the tenths, this is in the hundredths. So this is negative 5 and 59 100ths. And that's your answer, because 59 over 100 cannot be simplified. This one, tenths, hundredths, thousandths, 10,000ths. So I have 5 7 1 4 over 10,000. One thing right away I notice here is that they both can be divided by 2. So I am going to do that. This would bring this to 5,000. And then I have to take, I'm just going to do this off to the side. 5 7 1 4 divided by 2. You guys can see that. 2 goes into 5 twice. 2 goes into 17, 16, so it's 8 times. Goes into 11 5 times. And it goes into 14 7 times. So 2 8 5 7. You might want to check that, divide it by a 3, a 7, whatever. But I actually take my 5,000 and I check that one by a 3. And I know that it doesn't. It goes into 20, and then what happens is it goes in there 6 times. And then this is going to keep happening, so I know that's not going to come out nice. So that is your reduced fraction. This one is going to be 5 and 37 over 10 hundredths. 37 is a prime number and it cannot be simplified. And this one's tens, hundreds, thousands, so 622 over 1,000. Right away I know that I can divide it by 2. And then I do a little check like I did 311 divided by, well, I know 3 doesn't work, so let's try 7. 7 doesn't go into 3, but it goes into 31 4 times. And then it goes in there again, but it's going to give me a decimal. So I know that that one's not right. So I just try obviously the even number, 2, 3, 5, 7. I know that 5's not going to go in there, 7, and I know that 3 doesn't work, so I know that's a simplified. Okay. I, J, K, and L, writing fractions as decimals, so you need to take the top number divided by the bottom. So top, bottom. So this one is going to be 5 divided by 4. 4 goes into 5 one time. Make sure if you start adding zeros that you add a decimal. 4 goes into 10 twice. And it goes into 25 times. So this one equals 1.25. I'm going to have to do this one off to the side. Now I have 1 divided by 6. Six does not go into 1. Add your decimal point. 6 goes into 10 once. It goes into 40 6 times. And then you can see what's going to happen. That 6 is going to repeat. So this one equals negative negative 0.16 repeating. My next one, 11 ninths. I'm going to do this one over here. 11 divided by 9. 9 fits into 11 one time. When you subtract, you get a 2. It fits into 20 twice. And then you can see what's going to happen. Okay, it's still going to keep going in there, so the 2 is repeating. Letter L, 7 divided by 20. Does not fit into 7. 20 goes into 70 3 times. 3 times 20 is 60. 20 fits into 100 5 times. 5 times 20 is 100. So our answer here is 0.35. And that is how you would take it from a fraction to a decimal.